A few weeks ago, I transplanted one of my raspberry bushes in this area of the garden. But then I said to myself, why not go to the big box store and buy some more? Because why not? So in this video, it is all about blackberries and raspberries. So we're going to be potting them up. We're going to be testing the pH of the soil, hooking these plants up. So hopefully they can be fruiting by the end of the summer. Let's go. What's going on, my plant peoples? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a much needed form of mental health therapy, sobriety, and also learning about ADHD tips and tricks on how to navigate the world using our garden. And I went to the store and I bought some raspberry stuff. I just couldn't pass it up. I said to myself, my raspberries need some friends. So I bought them some friends and we're gonna be planting them up. But the first things first, you're gonna take a little bit of the soil from wherever you're gonna be transplanting these raspberries in. We're gonna be testing that out. Ideally, the pH of this would love to be slightly acidic. Not nearly as acidic as blueberries. Blueberries love it like what, 4.5 to 5.5? These ideally like it between 5 and 5.5. All right. You could buy this pH tester at your big box stores. That's not a problem. You can also get it on Amazon. These are not completely 100% accurate, but it does give you a good representation of what the pH may look like. Oh damn, right off the bat, this is super neutral. If you do want to get a better soil test, I would highly recommend going to your local state master gardening program. They have some really great soil tests and it's pretty cheap too. Only like it's less than $10. Well, this sucks. Okay, it's not bad for other vegetables, but considering that these are small fruits, they really love acidic soil. Never fear, I got something for that. All right, right off the bat, this is telling me this is slightly acidic to neutral. So between 6.5 and 7. This is way too high for raspberries. We want to bring that pH level down real fast. I did a blueberry video a few weeks ago, and when it comes to like lowering the pH of the soil, I did not use anything from the store. I wound up using stuff that you can find around in your garden. But this time around, I just happened to be at the store and I wound up getting a soil acidifier. So we're going to be using that. For the first time ever, I'm going to be using garden gloves because, don't want to mess up my ring. I just got married a few days ago. And ladies, do you wear your ring when you're gardening? Aren't you afraid of losing it? I'm afraid of losing my ring in the soil. And then Jose will not be very, very happy. So what am I going to do? And I really do not like gardening gloves. When picking your raspberries, let's say you go to your garden center or your big box stores, the name of the raspberries, when do they bloom? Are they fruiting early season, mid-season, or late season? These raspberries that I have, these are called Heritage. These are mid-season blooming raspberries. So by the mid-June all the way down to the end of till the end of the year, they're gonna be giving me raspberries. They may get a little break in between, but they'll definitely start up again toward like late August or September. They're just gonna keep fruiting until like the frost. Another thing that you're gonna want to know about your raspberries is it a primo cane or a floricane? Is your raspberries a biennial or does it flower every year? That is going to determine when you're going to be getting your blooms, because you could be planting this plant right now expecting raspberries and you're not going to get anything. That is because that specific raspberry is a biennial. It's going to grow all the foliage, it's going to grow big and everything, but you will not get any blooms. Primo canes like I have right here, these are going to be growing a lot of foliage, but also they're going to flower and everything all in 1 year. Blackberries are going to require the very, very similar, if not exact requirements like the raspberries. So if you have the raspberries, you can plant the blackberries here. I'm sure people are going to get a little more specific, but being that I only have one of these, it's going to have to fit in the raspberry area. So we're going to make it work. Toward the end, we're going to be mulching this on top because notice that the ground is super dry. I know the raspberries can withstand this, but still, I want to be offering a little bit of mulch so this can just, not be so darn dry all the time. Oh, hey, Chip, are you trying to dig a hole? That'd be great. Now what I have here is soil acidifier. This says turn hydrangeas blue, but you can use it for other type of fruits. This says 1 tablespoon per plant. Okay, so we're going to go, I didn't measure it, of course, maybe a little bit more. All right, we're going to drop that soil acidifier. Also, another thing is that raspberries do love sun. The more sun you give it, the better. That'd be great. I mean, if you get some afternoon shade, or if you do have parts of the day that is shade, that's perfectly fine. But the more sun, the merrier. Not only is this going to lower the pH, but also it's going to be offering a little bit of fertilizer. So you can always add maybe worm castings, because you know how much I love worm castings. You can always throw that. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I have two of these raspberries. So this one I'm going to use the soil acidifier, and I'm not going to add any worm castings. And then the other one, I will add this and also worm castings and see which one does better. I like that experiment. That sounds pretty good. Just the soil acidifier acting as a fertilizer. So I'm going to pop that bad boy in there. There we go. All right, now we just kind of right around. All right, not bad, not bad. All right, this one's gonna have worm castings right up in there, but also it's gonna have the soil acidifier in there. Now, I do not know if should they be combined together or not. Guess we're gonna be combining it together. I kept calling them raspberry bushes, but what they are vines. They will vine off of anything, so it would be ideal to have something that they can grab onto. I picked this area of my garden because of the sun. One, I'm always following the sun. This has a better location for it, less shade, but also this has a great vining area, due to the fence. The fence will act as the trellis system right here, so that is going to help out a lot. I don't have to build in anything extra to it, so we're just going to be putting, I'm just shaking this loose a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I just kind of do that, especially if, I don't know. I just wanted to do that. You look happy, don't you? Of course you do. Now, over time, this will attach to the fence and then continue to wrap around, so I don't have a problem with that. Let me know down in the comments below, do chickens eat raspberries? I am really, really curious about that because I am concerned about my chickens eating it from the other side. I'm adding the worm castings for the blackberries because I really wanted to add a little extra nutrients. I didn't want to just hold out too much on the experiment. Also, never fear, you can actually plant these in containers. So it's just like the ground. We're going to be testing the pH. You're going to know that you want it well drained. Keep it kind of moist, but not all the way. It likes to dry out a little bit, but that's what I would say. And it could tolerate a little bit of water. I mean, raspberries only need like what, 2 inches of water a week or something? I'll write it right on here. So the containers is great. You know what I would advise when it comes to containers? Mulching on top so you can retain a little bit of the moisture on there because containers tend to dry out a lot faster. But other than that, they'll be great. Let me tell you, if you have a whole area with just raspberries, blueberries, any type of berry, be careful looking out for birds. Birds are going to be going after and eating all of your berries. But aside from just the birds, pests. There's a lot of pests and bugs that go after our raspberries. So I'm not going to go through that in this video because that in alone, it could be a video on itself. So just know that keep an eye out for little small flies, keep out for, discoloration of the leaves, curling. Just know that the number one is like aphids. Okay, so I'll get into it in another video, but just know, watch out, pay attention, keep track of those aphids because they're gonna get you and that would suck really, really bad. So I only use like an organic spray to spray them all down if need to be, but I'll get into that later on in another video. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good information out of it. Let me know down in the comments below, do you have raspberry bushes? Do you let them vine? Do you prune them all the time? And where do you have them in your garden? Do you have them in a little light or do you have them in a lot of light? As you can see, I've been moving them around in my garden for a while now, just trying to find the perfect spot for them so they can get the most light. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, you can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm on there all the time. And until the next time, everybody, where you and me both are going to be growing our happiness one plant at a time, hair in my face and everything, one day at a time. I'll catch y'all later in the next episode. Peace and love.